Okay, this is the independent practice. I asked you to do pages 113 to 114, 1 through 17 odd. Okay, so here we go with the answers. Number 1 is 35 hundredths. And number 3, I was going to say 2 there. Number 3 is 31 hundredths. Okay. Number 5 is 22%. Number 7 is 10%. Number 9 is 4 hundredths. Number 11 is 12%. Now, number 13, that was a tough one. I didn't realize what I gave you until after I looked at it. If you did do it, the goal was to put down the interest in order from most to least. Now, or was it least to greatest? Let me look again. From least to greatest, I apologize. From least to greatest. So with C, you earn $59.80. That would be the least. And then it goes up to A with $70. And the most interest was $87.50. Now, I was debating whether or not I should explain this to you. I'll do this one in class if you guys ask, but I guarantee you right now, I'm not going to give you a question like that tomorrow on the quiz. My goal for this quiz is just to see if you can convert percents to decimals and decimals to percent. This is asking if you know how to convert or how to find interest. And I didn't teach you that. So I'm not going to quiz you on it. It's assuming you already know. But last year, with all COVID, I don't think you learned about it. So ask me if you're curious, or I might do it as a separate video for those that really want it. Okay? But otherwise, don't worry about it. If you did do it, there are the answers. All right, number 15. You had to put these in order. You have 88 hundredths, 90 hundredths, 92 hundredths. And number 17, you have to see the video because there's a lot of answers for that one. Okay? So let's get to it then. You know, in fact, what I could do, if you did do number 13 and you got it right, I'll give you extra credit for it. Okay? So I don't want you to feel like you wasted your time or anything. You earned your extra credit points because that was hard. I have to admit that. Okay. All right, where should we start? We start with obvious number 1. So here we go. Number 1. We have a percentage. We have 35%. And it says write each percent as a decimal. Okay, not bad. 35% is 35 hundredths or 35 hundredths. Again, 2 zeros, 2 place values. Tenths, hundredths. And it could be that easy, and it should be that easy. All right, number 3. 31%. For this one, I'm going to use the decimal method just to show you, okay? 31% is really 31.0%. I take away the percent symbol, I'm left with 31.0. I move the decimal point 2 spaces to the left. 1, 2. Decimal point 0. I'm left with 0.31. And there you go. Easy peasy. You don't have to write the last 0. So if you end up adding a little 0 there, you don't have to write that. Okay? Just letting you know. All right, number 5. 22. We have 22 hundredths. We have to change that to a percent. So let me see. We have 0.22 or 22 hundredths. I'm going to use the fraction method, the transition fraction. 22 hundredths is just 22 hundredths. And 22 hundredths is just 0.22. Easy peasy. Number 7. Moving on. Oh, here we go. 0.1. Okay. Let's keep cool here. 0.1. I'm going to move 2 spaces to the right because I want a percent. 1, 2, decimal point 0. Fill in empty spots. I have 10.0. Add the percent. But you don't have to add this 0.0. You can take it out, so it's just 10%. Okay? The reason I said, oh, because as a fraction, I could do that, but it's just too much work. I said, nah, let's not do it. Let's go straight to the decimal point. Now, guys, that might seem like I'm being lazy. It could be, but I like to think of it as being efficient. I don't want to waste any more time than I have to. I want to get just straight to the answer. Okay? Now, if this was a word problem, I would have taken a little bit more time, but this just do it. It's like a robot. Just do it. All right, number 9. Oh, no. Okay, a bank offers an interest rate of 4% on a savings account. Write 4% as a decimal. Oh, it's not so bad. Okay, 4%. We want a decimal number. Okay, it's a word problem. So let's think this through. 4%. That's definitely less than 100%. That means I don't have a whole number. So it's going to be 0 point something. We don't know what's going to be here. Okay, 0 point something. 4%. 4 hundredths. 4 hundredths. That means two place values. 1, 2. Voila, done. And that is that for number 9. Okay, guys, we're up to number 11. Another word problem. Okay, so let's take our time. Let's do this right. Let's read it correctly. In a recent year, 0.12, or that would be 12 hundredths, of Americans downloaded a podcast from the internet. What percent is equivalent to 12 hundredths, or another way to look at it, 0.12 or 0.12? 12 hundredths. Okay, we want a percent. No biggie. You know what? I'm going to go with what I see here. 12 hundredths. 12 hundredths. Tenths, hundredths. 12 hundredths. 12 hundredths? 12%. Now I see, I could have just moved that decimal point to the right, would have gotten 12.0, and just added percent at the end. Same thing. I just went with this. Again, you do what works best for you. Okay, 13. Oof. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. If you're really curious, I'll do letter A, and we'll go from there. The idea is that a bank charges, when you save money in a bank, you get interest. Interest is basically what a bank pays you for saving your money with them. Because then they take that money that you give them, you don't give it to them, but you let them borrow it for a while. And then they use that money to buy other things, to invest in other things. And then they make more money. And so from the profits, they pay you a little bit of that profit. It's interest. Okay? That's where the savings come in. So save money. Anyways, the deal here is that you have interest is based on how much you put in, your principal, times the interest rate, whatever they give you, and how long you put the money in there. So the longer you put your money in the bank, the more money you make. It's the rate that makes a difference too. So for letter A, here's the deal. We have $350 that we're going to invest in a savings bank. Or savings. The rate is 4%. And the time? Let's see. The time is 5 years. So what you got to do is multiply this times this. You know what? Let me use colors to separate it. You're multiplying this times this times this. But here's the deal. You can't multiply percents with whole numbers or regular numbers. Okay? So what you got to do, this stays the same, 350, but 4%, you got to change it to a decimal number. And it's just going to be 0.04%. Then you multiply times 5. Okay? All right, this I'm pretty sure I can do this in my head, but maybe not. I want to say 2.0 or 0.20, but I could be wrong. You know what? I always tell you guys, don't be ashamed to do the work on a sheet of paper. Here we go. 5 and 4 is 20. 2 place values. Hey, I was right. 0.2. So this is 20 hundredths. 0.20 hundredths. Or you know what? Just 0.2. 2 tenths. Keep it simple. So it's this times this. And then we just do the math. 350 times 0.2. I'm going to go ahead and do the math over here. 350 times 2, I know is 700. We've done this before. I find the decimal point. There it is. One place value here. One place value there. So letter A is $70. That's how much money you make if you save $350 in a bank for 5 years at 4%. Now here's the thing. Might as well give you a little quick economics lesson. It may not sound like much, $70, right? But here's the thing. That's $70 for doing nothing. The bank does all the work. You just put it in the bank. And later on, when you learn about compound interest, this thing steamrolls into just a lot of money really fast. So just letting you know. All right. So just to remind you, if you did A, B, and C, I'll give you credit. If you didn't do it and you're curious, I just showed you how to do it. Try it out. Okay. P, principal, R, rate, T, time. Okay? PRT. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done. Number 15. Ooh, I broke my little pattern there, but that's okay. Number 15. Okay, 15 is a word problem. Let me read it to you first. Dante took 3 tests on Friday. He got a 92% on his English test, 88% on his math test, and a 90% on his science test. Write each percent as a decimal in order from least to greatest. Okay, we have 92% for English. And actually, English should be capital E. Get that right. 92% English, 88% math. Now, you're thinking, why are you writing the words? It's a word problem. I like making sure I know what the numbers mean. Because these word problems are pretty easy, but later on you'll get complex word problems where if you don't write down what the numbers represent, you might get the answer wrong. So just force a habit. I like to know what the numbers represent. All right. Whew. Here are my test scores. 92%, 88%, 90%. I have to change them into decimal numbers, and then I got to put them in from least to greatest. All right. Let's do the first part, decimals. All right. Less than 100, less than 100, less than 100. I'm telling myself this to remind me I'm going to have 0 as a whole number. Oh, sorry, in the ones place. Okay. 92%, 92 hundredths, 92 hundredths. 88%, 88 100, 8800, excuse me. 88 per hundred, 88 hundredths. 90%, 90 per hundred, 90 hundredths, 90 hundredths. Now I got to put them from least to greatest. It's just like money. 92 cents, 88 cents, 90 cents. The smallest one would be 88 cents. Next one would be 90 cents. And the last one would be 92 cents. Oh. Why am I erasing it? I like to be precise. So 0, meaning I don't have a whole number, and 92, 92 hundredths. And that's it for 15. One more to go. Okay, that leads us to number 17. All right. How would you write 43 and 3/4% as a decimal? Okay. The sad reality is you will see problems like this. Okay? Now, all I'm going to ask you is to not panic. That's it, okay? It's asking you to write it as a decimal number. Okay? So let's think this through. We have a fraction. We could change this to a percent, and it just gets weird. My suggestion for you, when you see a problem like this, when you get a whole number and a fraction and a percent, change the fraction to a decimal number. 43 3/4%. That's craziness. This is my suggestion. If you find your own way, do your way. But here's the deal. Now, I remember that 3/4 is the same as 75 hundredths or 75 cents. Okay? So that's what I did. I changed the fraction to a decimal number. So, I don't know if you want to write that down on your own, right? Change the fraction to a decimal number. And then from there, this should be easy now. 43.75. I'm going to take away the percent. I'm going to move this little dot, this little decimal point to the left. 2 spaces. Add a 0. So now I have 0.4375. And that's it. You're done. Now, in case you forgot, I memorized this. You should. There are some fractions you should just memorize. 3/4 would be 3/4 out of 4 to give you 75 cents. If you forgot, though, let me just do this real quick. You can divide the numerator by the denominator, and just for the sake of argument, I'm just going to go ahead and just give you the answer. It's 0.75. You can do the work to verify if you don't believe me. Okay? Or you can do this. 75 hundredths. 75 hundredths. Same thing. All right, guys, that is it for the independent practice. Hope this made sense.